What's up, YouTube? So it's been a bit. I actually don't know how many weeks it's been since I uploaded a video, but I know it's been a while. I started the year pretty strong with a series called Half Baked, and that came after, really my entry into making YouTube content last year. So I've tried a few different things at this point, and I really just got to a point with Half Baked where I started to overthink it. I started to kind of spiral and think about, how can I make things more cinematic? Is the style okay? How do I capture everything that I want to in my life and share it in a meaningful way? How do I storytell? And just like really overthinking to a point where I couldn't take any action. I really felt kind of frozen because I didn't want to create anything that wasn't correct. And the reality is, like, there is no correct way. So I am recording this now, and it's probably going to be a bit rough. It's probably going to be a completely different style than before because I really just want it to be real and I want it to be me. So this kind of comes after a call that I had recently with Tim Tresano. If you don't know Tim, I'll put a photo up, but like, if you don't know Tim, he is a content creator and that's what he does like full time now. And he's really, really good at storytelling. He's really good at what he does. And I have been working with him on some reporting and things for his socials. And as part of that, we've had some mentorship calls. So really my opportunity to ask him some questions and pick his brain. And really that's what I needed right now. I think it happened at the perfect time because, again, I've just been like stuck and frozen, knowing that I want to make content, knowing that I want to share my journey, but not knowing how, and feeling like I just wasn't doing it right. So the first thing that Tim said when we were having our call was he said to care less and avoid over engineering it. So he suggested thinking about, what happens after, a video does well. Like, say a video, picks up steam and I reach whatever goal I have as far as, the audience I want to reach or things like that. Then what? That was his question. Then what? So that's what I've been thinking about, and I've been working on caring less. So this is me caring less, and we'll see how it goes. But if this is your first time watching any of my videos, I'll do some intros throughout this, kind of provide context on who I am, why you should care about my content or why you shouldn't if it doesn't align, and what you can kind of expect and what I hope to achieve from now forward. But I really just want to take it and kind of make it bare bones, record as I'm going throughout my life, talk more. I talk a lot. I always talk to my videos, but talk more in a very real way like this and less like planned. So that's the goal. I want to show you the behind the scenes of like business, but also everything else. That's another thing that Tim and I talked about. Something that I asked him about is, a lot of times you're told to kind of niche down, like, what is it that you want to be? What is your topic that you want to talk about? And that's something that I always struggle with because I am a complex person in that I have a lot of interests. I have a lot of things that I'm working on and doing. So I really struggle to niche down and define what it is I'm selling. I know that there are ways to do it where you can have multiple things, but that's really been a sticking point for me because I own businesses, and I own businesses in different industries. So it's like, do I focus on that? Well, what about travel? What about my lifestyle? What about things that matter a lot to me, like mindset and self growth and learning and community and things like that? And so I asked him about it because he is similar, where he is, a very interesting person. He's got a lot going on. He has a lot of different interests that he shares. And the thing that he said is that he is his niche. He doesn't have a specific niche that he tries to fit into. I think if you had to define it, it would be the corporate area that he really focuses on, but he is his niche. That's what he has to offer. So that is my goal. Is I don't want to just reach people who are building businesses like me or hope to in the future, because I think that there are a lot more people who can connect with what I have to show and what I have to say, outside of business, business owners and future entrepreneurs. But that still is a very important part of what I'm doing, is reaching those people. So I just think it can be a multitude, and I don't know, I hope that I am enough for people to want to watch and stick around. So anyway, getting into this video, I am in Las Vegas right now. I don't know if you could see some of the background. I'll actually show you. There we are. Beautiful view. But I'm in Vegas. Reason being, my girlfriend, who is my partner but also my business partner, she is at a conference. She is a conference for mobile gaming. So that's what she's doing. And typically when she travels for work, I'll join her, just kind of for my own enjoyment, to kind of explore and wander around and have a change of scenery, but also so that I can, provide company for her and make sure she's good and take some stress off of her plate. So hanging out in Vegas. It's Wednesday right now. We'll be here until Saturday, and I don't have a whole lot going on besides work while I'm here. I actually have an incredible to-do list that I need to be digging into. I'm supposed to be doing, but instead I'm recording this. So I'm going to be working today, tomorrow mostly, explore a little bit, and then Friday the conference is over, so we'll probably do some stuff together, but we also are going to go watch a Las Vegas Aces game on Friday. So hopefully I'll show that, but that's going to be really fun. And yeah, it's kind of a good setup. We're in the MGM Grand, but they've got a gym, they've got food, coffee, everything I need, so I can really just sit in this rickety chair and hang out and get some work done and try to focus, without all of the distractions that I normally have at home. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to show some clips too from last week. We went to Chicago and we were hanging out, because we had a Beyonce concert. We went to the Cowboy Carter tour. So went to Chicago, explored downtown with the lakefront and stuff. We've been before, but just took time to explore. Went to the Starbucks Reserve, went out to eat, enjoyed that, spent some time the next day with my cousin and her wife, and yeah, had a great time. It was less than 48 hours that we were there, but had a few days back at home. Still very busy, still a lot going on, a lot of plans whenever we were back home for a few days, and then came here yesterday. So it's been busy, but it's been very good, and it's happening that it's aligning with a very busy time in business. So that's where I'm at. I'm going to probably share some more clips, more updates. Maybe I'll put that footage of Chicago in now. But yeah, we'll talk soon. Using that data to inform okay, What are the efficiencies? All right, a few days later, post Vegas, been back for I don't know how many days. It's Thursday now. We got back like last Saturday, um, and really just been focused on kind of getting settled, getting back into work. Like I mentioned, we were in Chicago for a couple of days, had a few days at home, and then went to Vegas. So I worked in Vegas, but sometimes it's just like whenever you're working and traveling, you're more focused on just getting the tasks done that need to be done and less focused on like, you know, the bird's eye view strategy and like direction of business and things like that. So, but I'm going to dive into some stuff this evening, and I figured it was probably about the best time to share what it is that I do. I have an interest in knowing like what it is people are doing, you know, what kind of strategies they use for the work that they're doing and things like that, just more detailed. So that's what I hope to share. And it might not be helpful for everyone or interesting to everyone, but there will be some people that find it useful. So, first and foremost, I own a business called Low Tide. Well, really, I have an LLC that houses multiple businesses, but the biggest is Low Tide or Low Tide Data, and it's kind of an agency. I think that's probably the simplest way to understand it, but we don't really call it an agency because that's not our goal with it. Our goal is not to build a team that serves clients in the way that an agency does. I've worked at multiple agencies. My partner, who's also my business partner, she's worked at agencies, and that is just not the vibe we're going for. So it's more so hiring, like people are able to hire us as fractional experts. So I have expertise in a lot of different areas. I think probably primarily it's like paid media and reporting and analytics, things like Tag Manager, Google Analytics, stuff like that. But I also can handle really marketing from beginning to end. And I've done marketing a lot of across a lot of different industries and stuff. But then I also have quite a bit of business expertise. So that allows me to be a bit of a Swiss Army knife for people. So if I'm like working with an ecom business, I can not only advise them on overall brand and strategy because I've done a lot in branding as well, and things like that, and like product, but I can also talk to them about their audience, understanding their audience, how to reach them, all marketing channels, really, and reporting and understanding all the data and stuff like that. So there's a lot. I'm not going to list my whole resume, but there's a lot. But the point is that they're able to bring me in as an expert to sit on their team um, and really help them with whatever they need. Sometimes I have like specific, you know, retainers with specific scopes of work where I offer, you know, a set service every month. Other times it's a bit more flexible. So that's kind of my primary area. My partner works in App Store optimization, and we also combine what we do some, and that's what Low Tide does. It's we offer those services. We offer consulting. We also have a team of other creative people, talented people that we pull in when necessary for specific things. So right now I'm working with mostly e-commerce, which I'll get into in a second. And then I also work with a large nonprofit who's been a client of mine for a while and I have a great relationship with. And then I just have some other stuff going on. I'm not going to list out all the clients, but I do work with uh, brands like 28 Club, who I'll probably talk about plenty, but they're based in the UK. They are an athletic wear brand. Been working with them since the beginning of the year, and we have a lot going on with them, so it's something that I'll likely share about. But with Low Tide, one thing that we're doing right now is we're building out a concept called Lab, and Lab is meant to be specifically for e-commerce. I noticed I started working more and more with e-commerce. We have our own ventures in e-commerce, and I didn't want to niche down low tide, so instead we're creating a vertical within low tide called lab. And the idea is that this is kind of going to be maybe an incubator in some ways, maybe just services in some ways, but it's really built for ecom founders and supporting them. So there might be some digital products, but it's also meant to kind of build sort of community and brand around those founders, and maybe marketers within ecom. So that is something that we're working on right now. So that's low tide. That's like that entity. And then outside of low tide, we have Warren, which is a brand that we've been working on building. It's really based on our heritage growing up in the rural Midwest. And, we share a lot of old photos, old family photos, and things like that. And that's something we've been working on kind of slowly because it's meant to be a bit more of a like passion project. We don't want it to be something that is stressful or I don't know, has a lot of pressure. So this week I've been working on, we just sampled a cropped shirt, and I've been working on kind of finalizing some details on that. So that's something that's just kind of there. That again is more creative and passion focused, and something that kind of warms the heart. And then outside of that, we're launching another ecom brand that I cannot share details about right now. But we've done e-commerce work before. We've had e-commerce businesses before, but this one is our first like big swing in it, and we have enough knowledge that I think we're pretty set to go well. So those are the things I'm working on a daily basis. I have some other like ancillary stuff that I work on. Yeah, that's pretty well it, as far as what I'm doing on a daily basis. Um, I guess other things about me, maybe I'll share a bit later in this video or in another video. But if you've lasted this long into this bit of a rambling session, then I appreciate it. But as I mentioned earlier in the video, I just want to make these a bit more casual and I don't know, just make it a bit more like one-on-one feeling and share more, because I think whenever I try to over curate what I share, then it feels a bit inauthentic to myself. So yeah, that's pretty well it. I'm gonna dive into work now, drink some more coffee, and see what I can knock out today.